So Now You See Me Too is not very good. I'll get that out there straight away. Um, it's extremely disappointing, but I also had not really high expectations for it after the original movie. But again, the original did have its own entertaining aspects, as like the recruiting scene at the beginning, and the final reveal was kind of interesting, I guess. But it all just felt a bit rushed and unexplained and left a lot to the audience to think over. But again, that was a problem because a lot of it can't really be explained by the audience. And Now You See Me Too has a different problem to that. It has nothing to explain, really. A lot of it, like, not much happened in the movie. Uh, to give you an example, the first hour of the movie is all set up, but it's boring. It's not like interesting setup at all. It's completely boring. And like when they finally reach some sort of conflict, it's a fight between Mark Ruffalo's character Dylan Rhodes, and he fights off all these guys that have been sent after him. But that again, that fight takes a huge advantage of coincidences, because a lot of where all the guys he's fighting fall and stuff just seems a little too coincidental to be real. And another big problem with Now You See Me Too is it requires a giant suspension of disbelief, and it's one that I personally can't have. I can't theoretically suspend my disbelief beyond a certain point, because eventually it just becomes ridiculous and you just kind of sat there in the cinema going, can you wrap it up? Now, I will give props to some of the actors, such as Woody Harrelson in his own character, not the stupid twin that's in it. Dave Franco, he was okay. Jesse Eisenberg, again, I have a soft spot for him as an actor, so I'm not going to give him a pass because he didn't say as much or do as much as he did in the original. But again, his performance when he was performing in the movie was good, and I enjoyed the screen time he had. I will not also fault Daniel Radcliffe. He played a good part as Walter Tressler, who is the son of Michael Caine's character from the original film as well. And I will also not fault Mark Ruffalo in his role of Dylan Rhodes. I'm clicking my fingers a lot because I don't have a script. But I will not pass, I have her name here, Lizzie Kaplan as Lula. Holy crap, we did not need a third comic relief. We have one, and it's Woody Harrelson. You gave him a twin, who was Woody Harrelson again, but just with more hair, and he was not funny in the slightest. And then you gave us Lizzie Kaplan, who is also not funny in the slightest. She has the most cliche character arc in film at the moment, which was introduced, falls in love with one of the main characters, and ends up kissing them by the end of the film. And it's just, you've seen it all before in other movies, her character development. You've seen it in other films, and it's the same in this one, except it's not, because she is such a terrible actor in this movie. I haven't seen her in anything else, but if I have to go off this movie as what I think of the rest of her acting portfolio, oh boy, it's not good. Actors aside, I will give, again, props to some of the set design. I'm really grasping at straws here, because although it has a lot of negatives, you still have to find some positives, really. I liked some of the set design. I liked it when they went to the magic shop in Macau, I think it is. And I liked... That's basically it. And then when they went to Greenwich at the end of the film, Oh yeah, Morgan Freeman. He was Morgan Freeman. Really, that's all you can say about him. He was Morgan Freeman doing a Morgan Freeman role. I will now place a spoiler warning for some of the movie. I've already given you one of the main things, which is that Walter Tressler is Arthur Tressler's son. But yeah, spoiler warning from here on out. If you're going to leave the video now, don't see this movie unless you are forced to, because you will be bored to tears and you will have no reward from the end of the movie. So yeah, don't see it. Spoiler warning from here on out. Okay? Okay. So Walter Tressler has apparently been dead for a year, taking, I don't know the word, he's taking after the Alex character played by Dave Franco, who also died in the original movie, and he tries to kill Mark Ruffalo's character of Dylan Rhodes in the same way that Dylan Rhodes' dad, Shrike, the magician, died by drowning in a safe. And it was so predictable that Mark Ruffalo was going to end up in a safe like his dad. He was going to get out of the safe using his dad's watch. And when they explained it at the end of the film, you kind of just go, yes, I guessed that. Can you give me something else? And here's another thing I can give the movie props for. I did not expect the guy in the science center in Macau to be somehow involved with the whole magician conspiracy thing. I was not expecting that, and I will give them the thumbs up because that was a good twist. I can't fault a good twist. What I can fault, however, is a stupid cliche story, which was the entire movie in itself, stupid and cliched. But again, they didn't do it right in the first movie. They could have made it so much better, but at least there was the entertaining aspect of the movie with the recruitment scenes. There was at least some tricks in the movie, which you think in a movie about magicians there will be examples of magicians' tricks happening, but there wasn't in this one. There was the show at the start at the whatever it's called place, and they're about to do something, and then it gets stopped by Walter Tressler, and you just think, please, can you give me something good here? But they don't. And the tricks really only start coming in the lead up to the finale, which is about an hour and a half in the movie. I was entertained by Jesse Eisenberg's trick where he stopped rain and made it go back up. That was entertaining for me. But again, that's probably just because I'm biased to Jesse Eisenberg's performances in movies, and I just like him on screen. He's a really good actor. I didn't care for Dave Franco's trick. I really didn't care for Lula's trick. It was such a waste of time, and I would have much preferred Woody Harrelson to have something, and her to be the one involved with the brother, but they can't do that. And then they have the final trick at the end, which is they get taken onto a plane and thrown out, and then it's all revealed they weren't on a plane, blah blah blah, set up for sequel, and end movie. I will admit, there was... It sounds like I'm lying to you guys when I say that I predicted that finale, but I did. I really did predict that. When they got on the plane, I was just thinking, how are they going to get off? It's not a real plane. And then when, what's his name, Woody Harrelson's twin suggested, why don't we just throw them out? I was like, oh, they're just not moving anywhere, and it's all just wind and rain machines. And it's funny because the movie asks you to predict that, because they say, pay attention to all the tricks that are leading up to it, like Jesse Eisenberg's rain trick, because they use wind and rain machines when they're misdirecting you with the plane. Now, you didn't have to reveal your finale to us, but you did. You revealed it, and anyone who's at least got an IQ above 100 could have figured out that finale. And I certainly did. I'm not trying to say I'm smart, but I predicted that finale. And you can't have a movie based on misdirection and tricking people and have it have a predictable finale. That's just it. That's not how I would have made this movie. Now I am predicting a third movie because of the way it ends, how they're in the whole magician's circle, magic eye thing. I am predicting a third one, and I had no expectations for this one. I was kind of hoping it would be at least a step up from the first one, but it really wasn't. It was a massive step back. And I just hope that the third one, when it comes out and is released on Foxtel like 18 months after it's out in cinemas, that it's actually decent. I'm not going to see it in cinemas. I am saying that now, and if I do see it in cinemas, you have permission to punch me in the face, because I'm obviously stupid. Now, if you've stayed to this part of the review, you obviously know by now that you are not to see this movie under any circumstances unless you see it for free. So, yeah, that was my thoughts on Now You See Me Too. Don't see this movie. Okay? That was a really bad pun, and I could have worded it a lot better, much like they could have made this movie better. Goodbye.